Welcome to CultureAlley Spanish. Hola, this is Español Lesson 25. Let us begin by revising vocabulary about directions that we learned in the last lesson. How do I get translates to ¿Cómo puedo llegar? To downtown translates as al centro. To the train station becomes a la estación de tren. Moving on, to the airport gets translated to al aeropuerto. To the hotel translates to al hotel. And lastly, to the hostel becomes al hostal. Great! Now let's revise the common directions. Left translates to izquierda. Can you try that again? Izquierda. Good. Right becomes derecha. On the left translates as a la izquierda. On the right gets translated to a la derecha. There becomes allí. And here becomes aquí. Awesome! Let us look at a conversation between Mark and Amy. Mark says hello, which translates to hola. Amy replies, hola. Mark asks, where is the airport? Which becomes, ¿Dónde está el aeropuerto? Amy replies by saying, está aquí, a la izquierda, where aquí means here and izquierda means left. Hence, the sentence means, it's here, on the left. Mark replies by saying, sí, which means, yes. Amy adds to the directions by saying, near the train station, which translates to, cerca de la estación de tren. Note that cerca means near. Hence, cerca de la estación de tren literally means near of the station of train. Finally, Mark says thank you, which becomes gracias. Great! Let us look at another conversation between Mark and Lisa when they meet on a street. Mark: Hi, how are you? Lisa: Fine, thank you. Mark: How can I get to the train station? Lisa: It's there, to the right. Mark: Thank you. Lisa: You're welcome. The conversation in Spanish goes like this. Mark: Hola, ¿cómo estás? Lisa: Bien, gracias. Mark asks, how can I get to the train station? Which translates to, ¿Cómo puedo llegar a la estación de tren? Lisa's reply, it's there, to the right, which translates to, está allí, a la derecha, where allí means there. Mark thanks Lisa by saying, gracias. Lisa replies by saying, de nada. Great! All right, time for a new lesson. In today's lesson, we will have a look at genders of nouns and plural forms of nouns. As we know, in Spanish, nouns have genders associated with them. Our usage of these nouns, usage of articles and adjectives with them, etc., all depend on the gender the noun takes up. In today's lesson, we will learn about changing and identifying the genders of various nouns in Spanish, and also look at forming plural forms of nouns. Let us take up genders of nouns first. A noun is a part of speech typically denoting a person, place, thing, animal, or idea. Let us look at a few examples. Example of a person can be boy, Maria, or doctor. Example of a place can be Spain, school, or hospital. Example of a thing can be potato, phone, or pencil. Example of an idea can be beauty or cleanliness. As we know, in Spanish, all nouns have gender. All nouns are either masculine or feminine. Unlike German and some other Indo-European languages, Spanish has no neuter nouns. Let us look at some examples. Let's take some examples of nouns which stand for people or animals. Boy translates to el chico. Try that, please. El chico. Girl becomes la chica. Grandfather will be el abuelo. Grandmother is la abuela. Male friend is translated as el amigo. Female friend will be la amiga. Male cat becomes el gato. And female cat is la gata. Good! Now let's look at some common trends that will help us in predicting the gender. We will also look at ways to change the gender. Let's look at the first common trend to help us identify the gender of the noun. Nouns that end in O are usually masculine, and nouns that end in A are usually feminine. There are exceptions to these two rules that we will cover later in the lesson. Notice the beginning and endings of the nouns we looked at in our previous slide, such as el chico and la chica. Chico ends in O and is masculine. Chica ends in A and is feminine. In Spanish, el and la are definite articles which stand for the. Masculine nouns begin with el, and feminine nouns begin with la. In Spanish, the articles must change according to whether the noun that follows is masculine or feminine. Masculine form of definite article the is el, and the plural form of el is los. Feminine form of the is la, and its plural is las. There are two indefinite articles in English, a and an. Both of them get converted to un when used with masculine noun and una when used with feminine noun. The basic rule is that masculine nouns go with masculine articles, which are un, el, and los. Feminine nouns go with feminine articles, una, la, and los. In English, these articles are a, and the. Let us summarize what we have learnt till now. Nouns that end in O are usually masculine. Nouns that end in A are usually feminine. For example, boy translates to el chico. Girl becomes la chica. Grandfather translates as el abuelo. Grandmother becomes la abuela. We will now see how to form masculine and feminine nouns. Masculine nouns that end in a consonant often have a corresponding feminine form that ends in A. Let's look at some examples. The German man translates to el alemán. Can you try that? El alemán. Its feminine form, the German woman, becomes la alemana. Try that one. La alemana. The male joker is el burlón, and the female joker will be la burlona. Try that, please. La burlona. Good. The male professor translates as el profesor. The female professor becomes la profesora. The male doctor will be el doctor. The female doctor becomes la doctora. Please note that while converting the masculine nouns to feminine, the additional accent mark is omitted. All right, it's quiz time now. Let's see if you remember what we have learned till now. How do we say male cat? Do we say gato, or gata, or la gata? Male cat translates to gato. Hope you got that right. Try changing the gender of the German man, or el alemán. Will it be la alemán, or la alemana, or el alemana? The correct answer is la alemana. How did you do there? Moving on, how will you translate the male joker? Will it be la burlona, or la burlón, or el burlón? The male joker will be el burlón. Very good. Some nouns that refer to people use the same form for both masculine and feminine. In such cases, we indicate gender by adding articles el or la. Let us have a look at such examples. Male student translates to el estudiante, and female student translates to la estudiante. Male pianist will be el pianista, and female pianist will be la pianista. Male artist translates as el artista, and female artist is la artista. Great! We can predict the gender of living things, but it is very difficult to predict the genders of the nouns that stand for a non-living thing. For example, book, house, money, or window. However, there are some common trends that can help you recognize genders. We already saw that nouns that end in O are generally masculine, and those that end in A are feminine. Let us look at some more trends. Nouns that end in sion, thion, dad, tad, tud, and umbre are feminine. We will first see some examples with sion and thion ending. Television is televisión in Spanish, so the television translates to la televisión. Similarly, the decision will be la decisión. Can you try that? La decisión. The inspiration becomes la inspiración. Try that, please. La inspiración. The nation is la nación. And the admiration translates as la admiración. Very good. Once again, nouns that end in sion, thion, dad, tad, tud, and umbre are feminine. We will see some examples that end in dad, tad, tud, and umbre. University becomes universidad in Spanish, so the university translates to la universidad. City is ciudad, and the city becomes la ciudad. Liberty is libertad, so the liberty will be la libertad. Magnitude translates to magnitud, and hence the magnitude is la magnitud. Custom is costumbre in Spanish, and the custom becomes la costumbre. Great! It's quiz time once again. Translate the president, female, where president translates to presidente. Will it be la presidente, or el presidente, or las presidente? The president female will be la presidente. How did you do there? What will be the translation for the crowd, where crowd is muchedumbre in Spanish? Will it be la muchedumbre or will it be el muchedumbre? The correct answer is la muchedumbre. Moving on, how will you say the difficulty in Spanish, where difficulty is dificultad? Will you say it as el dificultad, or la dificultad, or las dificultad? The difficulty will be la dificultad. How did you do there? Let us try another one. The female pianist will be el pianista, or la pianista, or les pianista. The correct answer is la pianista. Good job. We will see some exceptions to the above-mentioned rules. These are exceptions to the rule that nouns ending in A are feminine. Here are a few nouns that end in A but are masculine. The problem translates to el problema. Can you say that? El problema. The map is el mapa. The telegram will be el telegrama. The sofa becomes el sofá. Looking more into the exceptions, here are some nouns that end in O but are feminine. The hand translates to la mano. The radio becomes la radio. Let us summarize what we have learnt till now. Nouns that end in O are usually masculine. Nouns that end in A are usually feminine. For example, boy translates to el chico. Girl becomes la chica. Grandfather translates as el abuelo. Grandmother becomes la abuela. We saw that masculine nouns that end in a consonant often have a corresponding feminine form that ends in A. The German man translates to el alemán. And the German woman becomes la alemana. The male joker is el burlón. And the female joker will be la burlona. Always remember that with female forms, the accent mark is omitted. Masculine nouns go with masculine articles un, el, los. And feminine nouns go with feminine articles una, la, las. Here are a few examples we saw. Male friend translates to el amigo. Female friend becomes la amiga. The male doctor is el doctor. The female doctor will be la doctora. Male student translates as el estudiante. Female student becomes la estudiante. Nouns that end in ción, thión, dad, tad, dud, and umbre are feminine. The television translates to la televisión. The inspiration becomes la inspiración. The city will be la ciudad. The liberty is la libertad. The magnitude translates as la magnitud. The custom becomes la costumbre. Let's move to the second part of the lesson, plural forms of nouns. Now that we know how to predict genders of nouns and form masculine and feminine nouns, let's learn how to convert nouns to their subsequent plural forms. Let us start looking at the basic rules to form plurals of nouns. If a noun ends in a vowel, make it plural by adding s. book translates to libro, and its plural, books, becomes libros. Can you try that? Libros. Pen is pluma, and pens will become plumas. Say that, please. Plumas. While forming genders, we saw that with masculine and feminine nouns, we use masculine and feminine articles respectively. The definite and indefinite articles also change according to their plural forms. Let's look at the definite article the first. For masculine singular nouns, el is used. Los is used for masculine plural nouns. With feminine singular nouns, la is used. With feminine plural nouns, las is used. Great! Now let's look at the indefinite articles a and an. With masculine singular nouns, we use un, and with masculine plural nouns, we use unos. Feminine singular indefinite article is una, and feminine plural is unas. Here are examples using plural forms of articles. The book translates to el libro, and the books becomes los libros. The pen is la pluma, and the pens will be las plumas. The boy translates as el chico, and the boys becomes los chicos. The girl is la chica, and the girls will be las chicas. Very good. We saw that nouns that end in vowels are made plural by adding s, and if a noun ends in a consonant, make it plural by adding es. The university translates to la universidad, and its plural, the universities, becomes las universidades. Say that, please. Las universidades. The professor is el profesor. The professors will be los profesores. Try that one. Los profesores. The city translates as la ciudad, and its plural, the cities, will be las ciudades. Can you say that? Las ciudades. Good. If a noun ends in ion, then we add es and drop the written accent. The television translates as la televisión, and the televisions becomes las televisiones. The conversation will be la conversación, and the conversations is las conversaciones. Moving on, if a noun ends in z, we add es to form plural and change the z to c. The fish becomes el pez, and the fishes will be los peces. The light is la luz, and the lights becomes las luces. Great! When the plural refers to 2 or 3 more nouns of different genders, the masculine plural is used. For example, 6 male cats plus 2 female cats make 8 cats. Now in English, we just say 8 cats, but in Spanish, male and female cats have different translations. 6 male cats is seis gatos. 2 female cats is dos gatas. 6 gatos plus dos gatas become ocho gatos. Remember, not ocho gatas, but ocho gatos, where gato is male cat and gata is female cat. Similarly, un perro plus cinco perras become seis perros. Not perras, where perro is dog and perra is female dog. It's time for some quizzes. Can you make the plural form of el mono, where mono is monkey? Will it be el monas, or las monos, or los monos? The correct answer is los monos. How did you do there? How will you make the plural form of la bota? Bota means boot in English. Is it las botas, or los botas, or el botas? The plural form of la bota is las botas. Hope you did well. Moving on to our next question, how will you make the plural form of el rey? In Spanish, king translates to rey. Will it be las reyes, or los reyes, or los reyes? The correct answer is los reyes. Hope you got that correct. Can you make the plural form of la voz, where voz is voice? Will you translate it as las voces, or los vases, or las vaces? The plural form of la voz is las voces. For words ending in Z, to make the plural, we drop the Z and add CES. Excellent. All right, it's time for the Culture Leaf of the day. Today's Culture Leaf will talk about table manners. Let us learn about some basic table manners in Spain. Remain standing until invited to sit down. You may be shown to a particular seat. Always keep your hands visible when eating. Keep your wrists resting on the edge of the table. Do not begin eating until the host or hostess start. Use utensils to eat most food. Even fruit is eaten with a knife and fork. If you have not finished eating, cross your knife and fork on your plate with the fork over the knife. The host or hostess give the first toast. An honored guest should return the toast later in the meal. It is acceptable for a woman to make a toast. Indicate you have finished eating by laying your knife and fork parallel on your plate, tines facing up, with the handles facing to the right. Do not get up until the guest of honor does. In the next lesson, we will look at adjectives and how we can describe people using adjectives. We hope you enjoyed your lesson today. See you at the alley for the next one.